Good morning. Today, we will learn how to solve number problems involving quadratic equations. To solve a word problem, the following steps can help you visualize and interpret the given problems. Step 1. Read the problem carefully until you understand what is given and what must be found. Step 2. Assign a variable to represent each unknown in terms of the same variable. Step 3. Select a strategy that will facilitate better understanding of the given problem. For examples, making a table, list and charts, use logical reasoning, look for a pattern, and writing an equation. Step 4. Reread the problem and then change the written statements into an equation. Step 5. Solve the equation. Step 6. Answer the question asked in the problem. And then for the last step, check your solution. Determine whether the values obtained in step 6 meet the conditions given in the original problem. Let's now have an example. If you square 3 more than a number, the result is 8 more than 4 times the number. Find the number. So first, we will assign a variable for the given number. Okay, let x be the number. So we have here, if you square 3 more than a number, so how do we represent 3 more than a number? If the number is x, we have x plus 3. So it says here, if you square 3 more than a number, so that would be quantity x plus 3 raised to the second power. The result is 8 more than 4 times the number. So that would be is equal to 4x plus 8. 8 more than 4 times the number. Find the number. Now, we can find the number by expanding the left side of the equation. This will give us, so how do we square a binomial again? Square the first term and then get twice the product of the two terms. 3 times x is 3x, twice of it is 6x, plus square the last term. 3 squared is equal to 9, is equal to 4x plus 8. By addition property of equality, we add negative 4x and negative 8 on both sides of the equation. 4x plus negative 4x plus 8 plus negative 8. So the right side of the equation will be equal to 0. X squared plus 6x plus 9 plus negative 4x plus negative 8. The right side of the equation now, the left side of the equation now becomes x squared. Okay, let's combine like terms, 6x and negative 4x, that is positive 2x. 9 and negative 8 when added, that will give us positive 1. Now we have the quadratic equation, x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. We can now solve using the method of our choice. X squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Let's say we chose factoring. So we have x plus 1 times x plus 1. By zero product property, we have x plus 1 is equal to 0. X plus 1 is equal to 0. Solve for x. we have negative 1. As you can see, both are negative 1. So the given equation has only one solution, which is negative 1. Therefore, the number is negative 1. Another example. The sum of two numbers is 7 and the product is negative 60. What are the numbers? Again, the sum of two numbers is 7 and the product is negative 60. What are the numbers? First, let us assign a variable for the first number. So let x be the first number. Now, how do we represent the second number if the sum of the first and the second number is 7? Therefore, the second number is 7 minus x. According to the problem, their product is negative 60. So if the first number is x and the second number is 7 minus x, we represent their product as x times quantity 7 minus x is equal to negative 60. By distributive property, we have 7x minus x squared is equal to negative 60. By addition property of equality, we have 7x minus x squared plus 60 is equal to negative 60 plus 60. We now have negative x squared plus 7x plus 60 is equal to 0. This is now our quadratic equation in standard form, which can be solved using the method of our choice. Let's say we use quadratic formula. A is equal to negative 1, B is equal to 7, C is equal to 60. So the quadratic formula is given by negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let us substitute the values of a, b, c. Negative 7 plus minus the square root of 7 squared minus 4 times negative 1 times 60 all over 2 times negative 1. Negative 7 plus minus the square root of 49. Negative 4 times 1 is positive. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4 times 60, that is positive 240 all over negative 2. We now have negative 7 plus minus the square root of 289 all over negative 2. Negative 7 plus minus the square root of 289 is 17 all over negative 2. So first we have negative 7 plus 17 over negative 2, and then negative 7 minus 17 all over negative 2. This is now equal to 10 over negative 2, that is negative 5. And this is negative 24 over negative 2, that is positive 12. So x sub 1 is negative 5, x sub 2 is positive 12. So let's say the first number is equal to negative 5, then the second number in the given problem, since it is represented by 7 minus x, we have 7 minus negative 5, that will give us 7 plus 5, that is 12. Same if we use x sub 2 as the first number. So if the first number is our x sub 2, which is 12, the second number would be, it is represented by 7 minus x. So our x is 12. 7 minus 12, that is negative 5. So therefore, the two numbers are negative 5 and positive 12. Let's have our third example. One number is 6 more than another number. The sum of their squares is 90. What are the numbers? So in this problem, we are dealing with two numbers. It says here, one number is 6 more than another number. Let's say that the first number is x. So if x is the first number, how can we represent the second number? We have here 6 more than another number. So if the first number is x, the second number would be x plus 6. Next, the sum of their squares is 90. What is the square of x? So we have here x raised to the second power. Sum, so we will add the sum of their squares. The square of the second number would be quantity x plus 6 raised to the second power, and that is equal to 90. So what is the square of x? We have x squared. How about the square of the binomial x plus 6? Okay, let us square the first term. We have x squared plus, multiply the 2, 6 times x, 6x, get twice of it, that would be 12x, plus square the second term, square of 6 is 36, is equal to 90. Let us remove the grouping symbols. X squared plus x squared plus 12x plus 36 is equal to 90. So we have 2x squared plus 12x plus 36 is equal to 90. Apply addition property of equality. We have 2x squared plus 12x plus 36 plus negative 90 is equal to 90 plus negative 90. The right side of the equation now becomes 0. For the left side, we have 2x squared plus 12x positive 36 plus negative 90 is equal to negative 54. Okay, let us continue here. 2x squared plus 12x minus 54 is equal to 0. As you can see, we can still reduce our given equation. Divide by 2. So we're going to have x squared plus 6x minus 27 is equal to 0. So we now have our quadratic equation in standard form. We can now solve it using the method of our choice. So let's use factoring. So what are the factors of negative 27 that will give us positive 6 when added or subtracted? That would be positive 9 and negative 3. Apply zero product property. X plus 9 is equal to 0. X minus 3 is equal to 0. Solve for x. X is equal to negative 9. And then for the other one, x is equal to 3. So if the number is negative 9, So there are two possible answers. So if the first number is negative 9, then the second number is negative 9 plus 6 is negative 3. Another possible answer, if the first number is 3, then the second number will be 3 plus 6, that will give us 9. Negative 9 and negative 3, or positive 3 and positive 9. These are the numbers. Another example. The sum of the squares of two consecutive positive integers is 13. Find the integers. Again, the sum of the squares of two consecutive positive integers is 13. Find the integers. So it says here, two consecutive positive integers. So meaning, if the first integer is represented by x, since they are consecutive positive, how do we represent the second integer? The second integer would be x plus 1. Okay. The sum of their squares, so we have x squared plus quantity x plus 1 squared. So the sum of their squares is 13. Now let us simplify the given equation. So what is the square of x? We have x squared. Then quantity x plus 1 raised to the second power is equal to, this is squaring a binomial. Square the first term, and then multiply the two terms. X times 1 is x, get twice of it. So twice of x is 2x. And then square the second term. 1 square is 1, is equal to 13. X squared plus x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 13. Combine like terms, we have 2x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 13. Apply addition property of equality. We have 2x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus negative 13 is equal to 13 plus negative 13. So we have here 2x squared plus 2x. Now what is 1 plus negative 13? That is equal to negative 12. So we now have 2x squared plus 2x minus 12 is equal to 0. Reduce the given equation. Divide by 2. So we now have x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. This is now our quadratic equation in standard form. Let us solve it by using factoring. So what are the factors of negative 6 that will give us positive 1 when added or subtracted? That would be positive 3 and negative 2. Apply zero product property. We have x plus 3 is equal to 0. X minus 2 is equal to 0. So here we have negative 3. And then here we have positive 2. It says in the problem that the given numbers or the unknown numbers are positive integers. So what are we going to do with negative 3 here? We will disregard this answer since it is a negative integer. So we will only consider x is equal to 2 since we are talking about positive integers. So if the first integer is x, and x is equal to 2, what is the second integer? The second integer is x plus 1, so that will be 2 plus 1, and that is 3. Therefore, the two positive integers are 2 and 3. Let's have another example. The sum of two numbers is 25, and the sum of their squares is 313. How do you find the numbers? Again, the sum of two numbers is 25, and the sum of their squares is 313. How do you find the numbers? Okay, first let us assign a variable for each number. So we are talking about two numbers. So let's say that the first number is x. Now, if the first number is x, how do we represent the second number? If their sum is 25. So if the first number is x, the second number would be 25 minus x. Okay, it says here the sum of their squares. So what is the square of the first number? That will be x squared. The square of the second number is 25 minus x raised to the second power. The sum of their squares is 313. How do we write that? We have x raised to the second power plus 25 minus x raised to the second power is equal to 313. Okay, we have now x squared plus, what is the square of this binomial? 25 minus x. First, we square the first term. What is the square of 25? That is equal to 625. For the middle term, multiply the two terms. 25 times x is negative x. 25 times negative x is negative 25x. Twice of it is 50x. And then square the second term. What is the square of x? Of negative x, the square is x squared. Next, we have x squared plus 625 minus 50x plus x squared is equal to 313. Combine like terms, we have 2x squared minus 50x plus 625 is equal to 313. Apply addition property of equality. We have 2x squared minus 50x plus 625 plus negative 313 is equal to 313 plus negative 313. So here we have 2x squared minus 50x. Now what is 625 plus negative 313? That is equal to 312. Let's continue here. We have 2x squared minus 50x plus 312. As you can see, we can still reduce the given equation. Divide the equation by 2. 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared. Negative 50x divided by 2 is negative 25x. 312 divided by 2 is equal to 156 is equal to 0. This is now our equation in standard form. Let us now solve it using the method of our choice. So let's say we chose factoring. What now are the factors of 156 that will give us negative 25 when added or subtracted? That would be negative 13 and negative 12, because negative 13 times negative 12 is positive 156, and negative 13 plus negative 12 is negative 25. Let us now apply the zero product property. X minus 13 is 0, x minus 12 is 0. X is equal to 13, x is equal to 12. So if the first number is equal to x and x is equal to 13, the second number would be 25 minus x. 25 minus the value of x is 13, that will give us 12. Therefore, the two numbers are 13 and 12. Another example. The product of two consecutive integers is 210. What are the integers? Again, the product of two consecutive integers is 210. What are the integers? So again, we are talking about two integers, two consecutive integers. So if we let x be the first integer, how can we represent the second integer? Since they are consecutive integers, therefore, the second integer would be x plus 1. So it says in the problem that their product is 210. So first integer is x times the second integer is x plus 1. Their product is 210. Okay, let us apply distributive property. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is positive x is equal to 210. Applying addition property of equality, we have x squared plus x plus negative 210 is equal to 210 plus negative 210. We now have x squared plus x minus 210. This is now our quadratic equation in standard form. We can now solve it using the method of our choice. Okay, x squared plus x minus 210 is equal to 0. Let's say we choose factoring to solve the given equation. So we have, what are the factors of negative 210 that will give us positive 1 when added or subtracted? That would be positive 15 and negative 14, because positive 15 times negative 14 is equal to negative 210. Positive 15 plus negative 14 is positive 1. Let us now apply addition zero product property. So we have x plus 15 is equal to 0 and x minus 14 is equal to 0. So for x, we have x is equal to negative 15, x is equal to positive 14. It says in the problem that we are looking for two consecutive integers. So let's say that the first integer is negative 15. The second integer is represented by x plus 1. So negative 15 plus 1 is equal to negative 14. This is one possible answer. If the first integer is negative 14, the second one is negative 14. Another possible answer, if the first integer is 14, the second integer is represented by x plus 1. So we're going to have 14 plus 1, and 14 plus 1 is equal to 15. So another possible answer is 14 and 15. Let's have another example. If 2 is subtracted from 3 times the square of a positive number, the result is 5 times the number. Find the number. So first, let us assign a variable to the unknown number. Let x be the number. It says here, 2 is subtracted from 3 times the square of a positive number. Okay. Now, what is the square of the positive number? So, if the given number is x, the square of it is x squared. So, it says here, 2 is subtracted from 3 times the square of a positive number. So, 3 times the square of it is 3x squared. How do we represent 2 being subtracted from it? So we have 3x squared minus 2. So that is how we translate the first line in a mathematical expression. 2 is subtracted from 3 times the square of a positive number. The result is 5 times the number. So if the number is x, 5 times of it is 5x. Okay, let us now solve for it to find the number. We apply the addition property of equality. We have 3x squared minus 2 plus negative 5x is equal to 5x plus negative 5x. The right side of the equation now is equal to 0. So we have 3x squared minus 2 minus 5x. Write it in standard form. We have 3x squared minus 5x minus 2 is equal to 0. This is now our quadratic equation in standard form. We can now solve it using the method of our choice. So this time, let's have quadratic formula. A is equal to 3, B is equal to negative 5, and C is equal to negative 2. The quadratic formula is given by negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let us substitute the values. Negative of negative 5 plus minus the square root of negative 5 squared minus 4 times the value of a, which is 3, times the value of c, which is negative 2, all over 2 times 3. Negative of negative 5 is positive 5, plus minus the square root of 25. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, times negative 2 is positive 24, all over 6. So we have 5 plus minus the square root of 49 all over 6. This is now equal to 5 plus minus the square root of 49 is 7 all over 6. So for our first solution, we have 5 plus 7 over 6. For the second one, we have 5 minus 7 all over 6. This is equal to 5 plus 7, 12 over 6, and that is equal to 2. X sub 1 is 2. Here we have negative 2 over 6, or in simplest form, that is negative 1/3. It says in the problem that we are looking for a positive number. Since x sub 2 is a negative number, negative 1/3, we will disregard this answer. Therefore, the number that is unknown in the problem is positive 2. Our final answer is positive 2. Another one. The sum of a number and its square is 56. Find the number. First, let x be the number. So if the number is x, how can we represent its square? The square of it is x squared. So it says in the problem that the sum of a number and its square is 56. So how do we write it in a mathematical expression? X plus x squared is equal to 56. Let us now express it in a standard form. Apply addition property of equality. X plus x squared plus negative 56 is equal to 56 plus negative 56. Write the equation in standard form. We have x squared plus x minus 56 is equal to 0. This is now our equation in standard form. We can now solve it in order to find the numbers using the method of our choice. So we can use factoring, completing the square, or quadratic formula. X squared plus x minus 56 is equal to 0. Let us choose factoring. So we have x here, another x here. Now, what are the factors of negative 56 that will give us positive 1 when added or subtracted? That would be positive 8 and negative 7, because positive 8 times negative 7 is negative 56, and positive 8 plus negative 7 is positive 1. Apply zero product property. X plus 8 is equal to 0. X minus 7 is equal to 0. Solve for x, we have x is negative 8 and x is positive 7. So we have two possible answers for this problem. So if the number is negative 8, the square of it is 64. If we add the 2, we have positive 56. So it satisfies the given problem. Now if x is equal to 7, the square of it is 49. If we add 7 and 49, that will give us also 56. So this is another possible answer. So there are two possible answers. The number is either negative 8 or positive 7. Let's have another one. If the product of two consecutive even integers is increased by 7, the result is 295. What are the integers? Again, if the product of two consecutive even integers is increased by 7, the result is 295. What are the integers? So we are talking about two consecutive even integers. So let's say that the first integer is represented by x. How do we represent the second integer if they are consecutive even integers. Therefore, the second integer is represented by x plus 2. So it says in the problem that if their product is increased by 7, how can we represent their product? X times x plus 2. So this is their product. Now it says in the problem, if their product is increased by 7, we know that increase, the term increase is associated with addition. So we have plus 7 there. The result is 295. Now what are the integers? Let us simplify our equation by distributive property. We have x squared plus 2x plus 7 is equal to 295. By addition property of equality, we have x squared plus 2x plus 7 plus negative 295 is equal to 295 plus negative 295. So we now have x squared plus 2x positive 7 plus negative 295 is equal to 288. This is now our quadratic equation written in standard form. Let us now solve it using the method of our choice. So we have x squared plus 2x minus 288 is equal to 0. Okay, this time let's have completing the square. So we have x squared plus 2x is equal to 288. So what must be added on the left side to make it a perfect square? We have 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1 raised to the second power, that is equal to 1. So we add 1 on the left side to make it a perfect square trinomial. Since we add 1 on the left side, we must also add 1 to the right side of the equation. The left side of the equation now is a perfect square trinomial which can be expressed as a square of a binomial. So this is x plus 1 raised to the second power is equal to 288 plus 1 is equal to 289. Now let us extract the square root. Solve by extracting square root. So this now will become x plus 1 is equal to the square root of 289 is positive negative 17. So for our first solution, we have x plus 1 is equal to 17. For the second one, we have x plus 1 is equal to negative 17. So this is 17 minus 1, that is equal to 16. Here we have negative 17 minus 1 is negative 18. The product of two consecutive even integers. Okay, so again, for this problem, there are two possible answers. Okay, first, if the first integer is equal to 16, that is the value for x sub 1, then the second integer will be 16 plus 2 since it is represented by x plus 2. Therefore, the second integer is 18. That is our first answer. Another possible answer, if the first integer is negative 18, which is the value of x sub 2, then the second integer would be negative 18 plus 2, since the second integer is represented by x plus 2. Negative 18 plus 2 is negative 16. So the two integers, the two consecutive even integers could be 16 and 18, or negative 18, and negative 16. So that is how we solve number problems involving quadratic equations. Thank you very much.